Sports Cards. Get at it.
Hey, Talofa Lava. Let's have with Dr. John Peterson here. TE2 Edge Sports Cards coming at you live and direct. Minneapolis, Minnesota is where we are doing this video from. Hope all is well with folks. I haven't done a video in quite some time. And yeah, just been waiting for these orders that I've got in with PSA to come back. Got one in yesterday, went to FedEx and picked it up. And it's a smaller order. I'd say there's about 20 cards total. I did look at the grades. I forgot to do a pre-grade video. And so I figured it doesn't make sense to not look at the grades when they dropped it. He has a PSA. But I will do kind of a semi-reveal here and talk through a little bit of each card. Hopefully not too much. And I don't want to bore you guys. But give you a little bit of a background to each card and what I thought at the time that I submitted it, what I thought it was going to come back in terms of a grade. We've got all football, mostly vintage, mostly 1959 tops, a little bit of 75 tops, a little bit of stuff from the 80s, and a couple modern cards. So, but yeah, if you haven't had a chance, hit the like or subscribe button, and yeah, appreciate you watching and taking some time to check out this reveal. So I made my, I was inspired by 3G slabs and put together my my little, it's pretty hacked. It's pretty rough looking, but I don't know, it'll work to put the top of the card. It's funny. All right, so this first card is a Clyde Connor, 1959 tops. All these 59 tops cards I got from my dad. He was a sports cards collector, but like 98% baseball. He was cleaning out his closet, classic story, right? Cleaning out a closet at the house that I grew up in back in Menominee, Wisconsin, a couple summers ago, and he found a shoebox, and inside that shoebox were a number of football cards and rubber binders, and these 59 tops were in there. So I'd pulled out some of the better cards, the Unitas, the Brown, the Star, just, you know, some of the bigger cards that were in there. Sent them into PSA and got decent grades, 5s, I think 6s, stuff like that. Nothing super great. But some of these more common players, and actually a couple of these guys I think might be Hall of Famers, the cards looked really good. So I was like, well, you know, maybe I should send a few of these in and see how PSA treats me. So I thought this card looked pretty clean. The upper left-hand corner was a little bit touched up. Centering looked pretty good. I thought it was maybe a PSA 7, and it came back as a 7. So, not a bad card. Definitely a common. Probably, I don't know. I mean, I didn't pay anything for the card. And the grading fee was what, 15, 16 bucks because it was the July NFL special. So, yeah, probably a small loss on this one. It's probably a $10, $15 card at the most. Next card we have is Rosie Greer. Played defensive lineman back in the day. Some people might remember Roosevelt Greer. I think he was in television or movies or something like that a couple times. I don't know if he was a Hall of Famer. I want to say he made the Hall of Fame, but that's going a long time back for me, so I couldn't say for sure. Nice card, though. Just love that photo. I thought this looked pretty good. The upper left-hand corner, again, was a little bit rounded. I didn't really know what to expect on these grades. I was actually expecting 6s and 7s, and in this case, I got an 8. Got the PSA 8. Yeah, these 59s, I think the 59s, in my opinion, are my favorite, are the best, some of the best cards from the 1950s for football cards. I'm not a super huge fan of the 57s. They're horizontal. They're okay. That's the Unitas and the Star rookie years. The 58s are pretty sweet. That's the brown rookie year. But color-wise, registration-wise, I really like the 59s. All right, next one, we've got a gunslinger from the Detroit Lions, Bobby Lane. You can see the centering left to right on the back is a little bit off. Let's go out a little bit here. Yeah, so Bobby Lane, relatively famous quarterback for the Steelers. I also think he played. I thought he played for the Lions, but I could be wrong. Don't know a ton about Bobby Lane. Thought the card looked pretty good. Thought it was a PSA 7. Got a PSA 8 ST. I've never seen ST. I don't know what that means. So if anybody in the comments knows, holler at me and let me know what ST means. Yeah, no idea. So, in terms of value on the Greer, I'd say this is probably a $50 to $60 card. So after grading fees, 15, 16 bucks. Looking at making about 40 bucks for fees. The Lane, also about a $50, $60 card, but that doesn't include the ST qualifier, so not sure exactly what that's worth. All right, next one we've got Lou Groza. I'm pretty sure this guy is in the Hall of Fame. He was a defensive tackle, or maybe it was an offensive. I can't remember. I really don't know. It's been a long time since I've heard the name Lou Groza. I am familiar with him, though. Played for the Browns, of course. I thought this one looked pretty good. Again, the centering left to right was a little bit off, so I was thinking, PSA 6 or PSA 7. Let's see what we got. Got a PSA 8. So I thought that was a really nice grade for this card. Pretty good start to the order. And an 8, this is about a $60 card, I think. So after grading fees, 45, eBay fees, maybe 40 bucks, 35, 40 bucks. So it's maybe somebody who's a set builder for the PSA registry would want to get their hands on some of these 8s. That's part of the reason why I actually had them graded, because I thought somebody might be interested in picking them up and putting them in their set. I thought the Berry looked good. This is Raymond Berry. Of course, he was a wide receiver for the Colts back in the day. Johnny Unitas' sidekick. And Hall of Famer, of course. Back looked really clean. A little bit off-centered left to right. Again, off-centered left to right and a little bit top to bottom. Yeah, but I thought this was worth getting graded. The corners I thought looked really sharp. And it got an 8. So that's a pretty good grade, I think, for a card from 1959. Again, probably a $60, $70 card. Not worth a ton, but again, the cards were given to me by my dad, so not into it for a lot. Next card is a 1972 Topps O.J. Simpson. So I think this is O.J.'s third year card. He was a rookie in 1970, I believe. I think it was 1970. 71, 70, 71, 72. This would be his third card. These are really hard to get centered, these 72s. I picked this up out of a 5,000 count box a couple years ago. Rescued it from the wild. And had it, I think, did I have it in a CSG slab? I can't really remember if I did or not. But the back looked, I thought, pretty good. Corners looked pretty clean. I was thinking maybe a PSA, I don't know, PSA 7. And, got a PSA 7. Got a 7 on it, so. Yeah, maybe 30 bucks, 40 bucks at the most. Not worth a ton. He recently passed away, so there might be a little bit of a market for his stuff. But of course, the whole OJ trial and all that stuff is a cloud that will forever hang over his cards and his legacy. But as a player, as a running back, he's got to be top 10 running back all time. And, obviously was a movie and TV personality as well. Okay, next card. is a 1975 Topps Gene Upshaw. I'm a big fan of the 75 Topps set. I like the way those cards present. 72 Topps is the horizontal. That's these. These are okay. 73s. 73s, not a huge fan. 74s are okay, but I really like these 75s. And I like the 76s. This was a card that I also picked up out of that same 5,000 count box, so I paid probably $1 for this card. And not a lot of people out there are collecting offensive linemen from the 1970s. Although Gene Upshaw, pretty famous individual in terms of his legacy in the NFL. Of course, he was an incredible offensive lineman for the Oakland Raiders, blocking for Ken Stabler and the Raiders back in the day. And then he was very involved with the NFLPA and the NFL throughout his post-playing career, and a highly respected person in the league and in the NFL. So I thought this card looked really good. I thought it had a chance at an 8. I thought the centering top to bottom was a little bit off. And so, but I thought the corners were really good. This upper left corner was a little bit touched up. You can kind of see it's not 100% sharp, but the other corners looked pretty good. And I got a 9. Got a PSA 9 on this, which I thought was just, I was elated to get a PSA 9 on this card. I mean, very few people are grading, you know, again, 75 Topps offensive linemen. And the pop count on this, I'm sure, is very low. So probably again about a $30, $40 card. Nothing huge, but I was only in it for about 16, 17 bucks anyway. So I'll make a small profit on that. This next card is Dick Anderson. Dick Anderson was a Hall of Fame All-Pro safety for the Miami Dolphins. Interception machine. You can see, you know, it's a rookie in 68. He had 8 interceptions, 3, 8, 2, 3, 8, and 1. So he had 3 8-interception seasons, which I think is phenomenal. So the centering in the back, off left to right and top to bottom. So I was kind of thinking, you know, I don't know how much they really hit you on that. But I thought the front of the card looked really good. I thought all 4 corners were sharp. Again, the centering a little bit left to right, but overall a really nice card. I thought it was a PSA 8 was my prediction. So let's see what we got. We got a PSA 9. So again, similar to the Upshaw, not a lot of people are grading safeties, Hall of Fame safeties. But I don't know. I just thought it was a really clean looking card, and I thought it had a good shot at an 8, and it came back as a 9. So again, this will be this is probably a more valuable card. I think there hasn't been a sale of a 9 ever that I've seen, at least in Card Ladder. It looks like a 10 sold like 8 years ago for, I don't know, like $450. So I don't know, maybe the 9's around 75 to 100 bucks. Let me know what you think this is worth, or what I should list this at in terms of a price. But yeah, this guy's probably top 5 safety all time, up there with like Palomalu, Ronnie Lott, Dick Night Train Lane, if he was a safety. I think he played cornerback and safety. Woodson, if you consider him to be a safety. So yeah, really good player, and played obviously for the Dolphins and Don Shula back in the day. He was part of that 1972 team that went undefeated. Okay, next one is 1979 Joe Theismann. This also came out of that 5,000 count box. Of course, Theismann played his first few years in the CFL, and then he was a rookie in 74. So his rookie card for Topps is 1975. Again, that 1975 Topps set, which I said I liked. The back of this looked really clean. Off-centered, left to right again. Seems to be a theme. Top to bottom looks pretty close to 50-50. Pretty sharp corners. I thought this one looked really good. I thought it had a really solid chance at an 8. But again, you can see that upper left-hand corner is not entirely sharp. So, I don't know. I thought it had a solid chance at an 8, maybe even a 9. And it came back as a 9. That's another 9. So that's 3 consecutive 9s for the 70s Topps football. Not a valuable card. Probably 50 bucks, 40, 50 bucks, somewhere in there. But anybody who's really particular about their 70s football and is looking to upgrade from PSA 8 to PSA 9, I don't think you get much of a bump in the PSA registry for having 9s, but I don't really know how the scoring or the weighting of the set registry works for PSA. But certainly a nice copy, and Hall of Fame quarterback. What did he win? How many Super Bowls does this guy win? 2? 1, 2? No, he won one Super Bowl. I think that was 80, what year was that? 82 maybe? I think it was 82. Because 83 was the Raiders. That was the Marcus Allen year. They played the Redskins that year. 84 was the 49ers. 85 was the Bears. Hard to remember that far back. It's a long time ago. All right, 1982 Topps Walter Payton. Pulled this out of a cello box. I bought some cello boxes a couple years ago. It had a good chunk of money, and I was like, let me get some 82 Topps football and see if I can pull some decent cards. You know, second-year cards of Montana, and it's got the Taylor rookie and the Lott rookie. I just thought it was a nice year. Munoz's rookie. What I didn't realize is that 82 Topps football, pretty much every card in every pack is off-centered at the rate of 1 to 5. So your chances of pulling a centered card are like, in a 12-card pack, is like you might get 2 centered cards in a 12-card pack. And in a cello pack, it was like maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4. So the chances of getting a centered card like this are like really, really tough. It's like 1 in 4, 1 in 5 cards in the pack. So I thought this one came back really nice. I had this originally in a CSG slab. It was an 8.5 for CSG, and it came back as a PSA 9. So got 9 on this one. So this is a little more valuable card. Obviously, Sweetness is top 5 running back all time. Some would say the greatest of all time. I don't know. I'd put him up there. Emmitt Smith. Maybe not Jim Brown, but maybe top 3 running back all time. Yeah, probably. He was one of my idols back in the day growing up and playing football. Loved Sweetness and loved his kangaroo shoes that he marketed, and just was an incredible player. So probably about $100 card. I'll probably put $100 on that. Next card, 1985 Topps football, horizontal set. Love this set, man. Oh man, I bought a couple cello boxes of this from BBCE again a couple years ago, and it's a very condition sensitive set just because of the black border. Centering is an issue. So to find a card like this is like needle in a haystack for this set. Of course, it's the second year for Marino, Elway, Dickerson, a number of Hall of Famers. And of course, you got Joe Montana and Walter Payton in this set too. So I thought this was one of the nicer ones that I pulled out of those cello boxes. Obviously, it's Joe Montana and Dan Marino, passing leaders from 1984. That would have been Marino's rookie year. And these two guys would have faced off in the Super Bowl in 84 with the 49ers winning. I thought this was an 8. I didn't think it would be a 10. I've never gotten a 10 on 85 Topps. It came back as a PSA 9. So, that's good. Probably a $75 card and a 9. Tough to really gauge if I'm winning or probably losing, because I ripped the box. But At least I got one nine out of that experience. This is 1985 sticker Warren Moon rookie card. I got a bunch of these because they came in the packs, the cello box packs that I picked up from BBC that I just mentioned. This was a CSG 9. I thought it had a legitimate shot at a PSA 10, so I had no reason to believe otherwise, and it came back as a PSA 6. I tell you what, every single PSA order I have submitted this year, and I've submitted a bunch, has at least one 6 in it. It's just total mystery. Like, I've looked at this card, and I've got multiple copies of these stickers, and Warren Moon, Dan Marino, you name it. And, like, I honestly, like, what is wrong with this card to warrant it being a 6? The corners are sharp. I see nothing on the surface of the card. I don't know. Maybe they just don't like Warren Moon because he was abusive to women. I'm not sure. I don't think that should be a qualifier for him getting bad grades on his cards, but I don't know. Anyway, Warren Moon, really, for all practical purposes, one of the first black quarterbacks. I think he went to the University of Washington, if I'm not mistaken. I remember Warren Moon and Doug Williams as being two really great pioneers at the quarterback position for African Americans. And I know he did some bad things back in the day, especially as it related to, I think, his wife and maybe other women. That being said, I think he was a phenomenal spinner of the football and all-time great and Hall of Famer. So, yeah, PSA 6 on the old sticker. So that just goes to show you, it's 9.5 with CSG and PSA 6. Give me a break. It's crazy. 89 score, Bo Jackson. These came out of a lot that I had picked up a couple years ago for pretty cheap, a couple $100. There was a bunch of 89 score in there. I thought these looked pretty clean. Of course, the bottom left has a little tick on it. You can kind of see that. Pretty easy. Centering was good. I don't know. I thought these had legit shots at being 9. Or this had a legit shot at being a 9. Centering's decent. I think it's a great card. It's Bo's first football scorecard. So this comes from the great 89 score set that has all the rookies. Dion, Barry, Mandarich, Aikman, Derek, what was the guy's name that played for the Chiefs that passed away? So yeah, there's so many. Barry Sanders, of course, is the big rookie card in that class. So Derek Thomas, sorry, I couldn't think of his name. Anyway, thought this was a 9. Came back 8.5. So 8.5 is fine. I'm okay with that. It's a push, probably a $15-$20 card, so didn't pay much for it. So probably a push on that. Have another 89 score Bo. Thought it looked pretty much identical to the other one, although there's the upper left-hand corner in this case. That came back as an 8.5. Okay, so that was same grade. This was a card I was really hopeful. It was the 1990 Topps Tiffany Deion Sanders. Bought it off of PWCC. It was in a CSG slab. It was a CSG 9. And I thought it looked pretty clean. This is a couple years ago now that I picked this up, back in August 2022. Picked it up for $59 total. That's including the hammer price. I thought it had a shot at a 10. Like I looked at this real closely and I didn't see, maybe a little bit off-center left to right, but it looked like it was within tolerance. Upper left-hand corner, maybe just a little bit bent, but you kind of have to look at it. I don't know, I thought it looked really good. This one came back as a 9. So, as a 9, $75 card, so it's a push. As a 10, it's a $500 card. He's still pretty relevant too, being that his son plays for the Colorado Buffaloes. Sons play for the Colorado Buffaloes. He's the coach. He's definitely still in the public eye. So, plus I love Deion. What a great player. The greatest defensive back, cornerback of all time, in my opinion. Okay, this was Donruss Elite Passing the Torch. I think this is 2000, mid 2000s. It's out of 500. It's got Jamal Lewis on the back. I thought it looked really good. Paid $10 for it, so it wasn't into it for too much. 15, 16 for the grading fees, so about 25, 26 bucks. This was the side that I really liked. I thought that was a really cool image of Jim Brown, and yeah, so paid into it for about 25, and the grade came back. I thought it was going to be a 9. Unfortunately, it came back as an 8. But so yeah, might lose a little bit of money on this. Probably only get like 10, 15 bucks on an auction for this card, but some Jim Brown collector will enjoy it. Or Jamal Lewis, of course. Lewis was really good. He was a great player in the early, mid 2000s. So this was a card that was given to me by my friend Craig a couple years ago. Jordan Addison, it's a Luminance. I think it's a really beautiful looking card. I'm not a Vikings fan, so I probably won't hang on to this. But the auto looks pretty solid. It's a little streaky, and it's, of course, a sticker, but it's numbered to 150. Love those USC Trojan jerseys. I think those jerseys are some of the most classic jerseys in the history of college football, along with, like, Notre Dame. I wasn't really sure what this was going to come back. I actually had this in my 5,000 count box for, like, 50 bucks, but didn't get any bites on it, so I sent it in, and it came back as a 9, which I think is pretty good. He's a good player. He's explosive. He's been hurt the last couple weeks, but played last Sunday for the Vikings, and I think he scored a touchdown or two, so he's a good player. Oh, excuse me. Oh, a little tired there, yawning. So anyway, yeah, so probably $75 card. Given that I got it for free, it cost me 15, 16 bucks to grade it. Come out ahead about 50 bucks. All right, guys and gals, and folks, this is the reveal. I've got another order coming in today via USPS, via FedEx, excuse me. That'll be a bigger order, 65, 66 cards, mostly basketball. And I have also looked at those grades, but we'll do a similar reveal process here. And yeah, so thanks for watching. If you haven't had a chance to check out 3G Slabs and some of the other great channels out there like Cajun Cardboard, of course, Jeff Wilson, Sports Card Investor, I like a lot of his videos. And whoever you want to watch is cool by me. So, all right, have a blessed day. Peace out. One love.